There's a lot of men on a set,
yeah.
and so I think usually when you're the actor in a sex scene, it's just impossible not to feel a lot of male eyes as a woman on
you're
you.
very vulnerable.
And I still had a lot of male eyes on me, but I was the boss.
Wow.
So I'm not a sexual object, but I'm a sexual subject, Like I can really be the agent of my own sexual desire and the way that it's going to be portrayed.
So tell us the story. How did it come about?
I'm also just so thrilled that Lisa Rinna is here.
We
Can
just
we just give her a round of applause?
We have a mutual
admiration club.
admiration club. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
And it's very fun. I'm so thrilled to be here.
It came about, so I wrote Slip in the pandemic. And I wrote all 7 episodes. I was going through a lot in my personal life and sort of getting ready to exit a relationship. And I was in this place of fantasy of like, what would my life look like, or what could my life look like in any myriad ways and versions of my life and myself. And so I wrote it as this sort of cathartic piece. And then Roku, in some like amazing turn of events, just gave me a green light without a single script note. So it went on Roku. I was just telling Lisa this saga.
And you shot it. I have to just say, you shot it with no notes. You could do anything you want. You could direct it any way you want. The sex scenes, anything. She got to direct however she wanted.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty big deal.
It was. And I'll never get that opportunity again.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a total unicorn of an experience. And Roku was so new at the time that they were like, willing to take risks. And it came out, and we got nominated for 2 Independent Spirit Awards. Thank you, Film Independent, for Best Lead Performance and Best New Series. And it was just so thrilling. And as an artist, too, it's like when you get to make something that is so purely your own without interference and then be recognized for it. It was.
I'm not
such
sure
a
I would know
thrill.
what that's like. To just be honest, but you go ahead.
No, totally. I get it. And we're going to get into that. And then Roku removed it from the platform entirely for a tax write-off. So
Can you imagine, you put your heart and soul into something like this, and it's your life in a lot of ways,
my baby.
And they literally just say, "Oh, we're just taking all these 3 shows." Did you say? And taking a tax write-off.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Yeah, and it was obviously so devastating. And we went to the Independent Spirit Awards, and no one could watch it. So we were like, I was on the carpet, like, being like, we're so happy to be here, but like it doesn't exist anymore. So it was this
Crazy
sort of simultaneous like victory and heartache, and then just like over the last 2-3 years, I've been grieving it. And literally like sending like Dropbox links to like people on street corners, just like, you want to see Slip? And then I got an email just like a few weeks ago that Peacock was picking it up. And so now it has this new life, and Film Independent and Lisa Rinna are helping me bring it.
We got to get the word out.
The world again.
Get the word out.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Oh, thanks.
I loved it.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to go home and watch the rest now that I know all the stories that she just told are so good. Let me get my questions out, because I think I probably have some interesting questions.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you do.
Let me see. I wrote them down. How did you think about writing these characters so that they felt well-rounded when inherently represented the lives that she's comparing herself to?
I mean, I think, Slip is also sort of a meditation on like being addicted to fantasy, right? And the way that we can future trip, and the way that we can also really shift who we are depending on who we're with.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I really wanted to see that. Like, that's how I formed the characters. I mean, you've seen the first 2, but as May continues traveling through all these parallel universes, like I was so interested in seeing like who she becomes depending on who she's with. Because I think so many people can kind of lose themselves in that way. And so yeah, it was just really, it was like a fun exercise to be like, who are all of the people that I've future tripped about in my life? Like,
so
and I
interesting.
mentioned a couple, I won't name names here, but to Lisa privately, of like, these people inspired, like, what would my life look like if I were with like a really successful musician slash DJ, you know, what would that be? And like, what I was saying to Lisa earlier is that like the fantasy generally is going to be so much better than the reality. So that was also such a fun thing to play with in terms of these characters. Like May in her previous universe, when she first meets someone, that fantasy and future tripping is going to be like the most exotic version of herself. And then when she actually lands there, it's like, you know, a sort of hellscape.
Wow. Really crazy. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's get more questions. Let me keep it up. Hold on, please. All right, my first question was, why did you feel like you had to tell this story? Which I think we've kind of gone over, but tell them why you had to put pen to paper to make this.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't, you didn't write a book.
No.
You decided to
Not
write.
yet.
Not yet. She's going to, though. She needs to write a book. But why did you decide to do this as a series, not a movie, but you, in your brain, you must have said, this needs to be a series.
Yeah. This idea had been like incubating for a while, which is kind of how I work. Like I get an idea and then I'm usually working on other things, but also it takes time for like it to fertilize,
right?
You know. So it was living in me, and I was really interested in this idea of like, I guess centering female sexual pleasure, in the way that it would be. Thank you, Kate. In the way that it so much so that it would be a catalyst for action,
right?
In narrative storytelling, and so. That's what really, I think it was like it had been living in me long enough, and then the pandemic hit, and then I was having, you know, this sort of personal reckoning, as many of us did in the pandemic. Whether you were exiting a relationship or not, there was so much self-reflection that I just had to like put pen to paper.
Do you think if there hadn't been a pandemic, it would have played out and happened this way?
It's so hard to know.
I know, it's
love
hard
sliding
to know.
doors, but this is really like about sliding doors.
It
Like
really
if you,
is.
If you don't, you know, like turn this corner, will you meet this person or not meet this person? And I've always been so fascinated by that.
Same.
I don't know if it would have happened in the same way, but I think it was a story that I was destined to tell no matter what.
Right. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Now that I've talked to you. Now that we had time at the bar, so thank you for that. I really understand much more. This was a journey you had to tell.
Yeah.
Because you lived it.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you pretty much have lived
Yeah.
this, and you needed to express it this way, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in a very long-term relationship, and then and I think I hadn't lived it yet, but it was funny because I sort of prophesied my future in it, of just sort of, you know, exploring oneself after and I think it is so much about like new chapters, you know, and we're constantly entering new chapters in all of our lives and reacquainting ourselves with ourselves, you know.
Is there anything that you would have done differently now that it has been made and done, or are you pleased with it the way?
Of course.
I mean, I know there's always, but
and I've had like time now, and so I went back and rewatched it, and I mean I'm so proud of it. But I'm always that way. Like if I'm
you produce it, you write it, you direct it,
Yeah.
like, you act in it, you do everything. Now, what is that like? Because you have to own all of it, right?
Yeah. You're really fucked if it doesn't go well.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
So how does it feel having all those hats? And I mean, it must feel great, but it also must be like, wow.
Yeah. It's an amazing experience. I highly recommend it.
I would.
I
It
do.
sounds great.
It's really like to have like writing, directing, and acting
I can't
all
even
in
imagine.
conversation with
Wow.
one another.
Yeah.
They are also informative. Each is so informative to the next that that it's so exciting. You know, as a director, you have so much more information because you've written it.
You've written it, and you know. Yeah.
And as an actor, especially in something like this, you know, I really wanted to make sure that I was filming sex scenes in a way that wasn't through a male gaze.
See, that's really fascinating to me because normally it's through a male gaze.
Yeah.
Well, I've never experienced it any other way.
Yeah.
But it's through your gaze.
Yeah.
Also, on top of it,
Yes.
not only a female gaze, but your
Your
gaze.
own gaze,
Your own
yeah.
gaze. So
Yeah.
in the elevator, you were saying, I could do the sex scene however I wanted.
Yes.
And I was like, what is that like? Because
Yeah.
they're very choreographed, you know. But to be able to do it from a woman's point of view and through yourself, what was that like?
I mean, it was so empowering.
I'm sure.
Yeah. It was thrilling. And it was also thrilling to like, I guess, you know, there's a lot of men on a set generally. I did make a movie called Band-Aid. It was an entirely female crew.
Really?
Yes, which was
that'd be
also
fun.
thrilling.
Yeah.
We can get into that.
Yeah, it's very male. It's a male-oriented.
But it's the you know, there's a lot of men on a
Predominantly,
set,
yeah.
and so I think usually when you're the actor in a sex scene, it's just impossible not to feel a lot of male eyes as a woman
yeah,
on
you're
you.
very vulnerable.
And I still had a lot of male eyes on me, but I was the boss.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it was really, it was just so exciting and interesting and complex. And everyone was obviously so respectful, but there was something so amazing about, I mean, the first 2 episodes, they're erotic, but it continues to get really wild. I mean,
I would
it's
imagine
really
now that I've heard your story.
it's really fucking erotic. So it was like, you know, being able to be naked and give direction.
Like how? Yeah, exactly. How do you do that as you're like laying back, just fully, and you're very like free as an actress doing this. And I noticed that watching, and then but you're also directing it. Like that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I was 40 when I shot it, and I think that was also important to me, you know, like to be 40 and to be like, I'm fucking free.
Yeah,
you know?
I
like,
think so.
I'm not a sexual object, but I'm a sexual subject, you know, like I can really be the agent of my own sexual desire and the way that it's going to be portrayed.
Wow.
And that was so amazing, really.
Very powerful. And probably you wouldn't have been able to do that in your 20s, I'm imagining.
No, not at all. I don't think I do it now, if I'm being honest. But it was a moment.
Well, 40 will do that to you.
I think it does.
It does.
Yeah.
You know, you make choices that are not necessarily what you would make at other times. I do agree with that.
Yeah. There's something that happens.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm 40. I have to do it now. At least
Like,
that's how I felt.
No. Yeah. It's a really exciting age.
It is. I think it's one of the greatest ages of all.
Yeah.
You really go and dig deep and change.
Yeah.
And make things happen.
Yeah.
So this was your 40.
It was my 40. This was my 40.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a great way to ring it in.
I should say. Is there anything else that you want to share that people might not know about in making this, or anything that you want people to know that you might have told me, but
I mean, you know, what I was telling you is like, I think the experience of making something like this was so vulnerable, and it's so exposing, and I'm so proud of it. And I also went through an extreme amount of grief already in the process of it being released into the world. And so I'm just so moved that we've made it here, you know, that it can be seen again. And so spread the word as much as you can, because, you know, it's on Peacock and it's so great. But again, it's like, it's really the indie hustle. Like, there's no marketing behind it. And so I'm also so grateful to Film Independent for giving us this platform to you know, shout it out, and to Lisa for coming and just
my pleasure. It needs to be
yeah,
seen, you know. These are the kinds of things I think also that you do in life, and I was telling my girls this, you do things that you're moved by, that you're connected to, or that you feel that you just need to give back. You don't know why, but you just need to do it. And I think it's so important to go with your gut and do those types of things. And this was
Yes.
one of those moments.
Absolutely.
I was like, I don't know exactly why I'm going to do it, but I'm going to go do it. I mean, that's the truth. My husband's like, "Where are you going tonight?" And
It's like some random theater on Wilshire.
and this is what, and I'm like, I just feel that this is something that needs to be seen and I need to go do. He's like, cool.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important, to see great work and to share it. And I'm just so moved by the story. I had no idea that it had been on Roku, and they pulled it, and all of a sudden it has a platform.
Yeah.
It just needs to be seen because people need to see this. So you all know I have a big mouth, so that's not a problem. But tell everybody because it really should be seen.
Thank you,
It's
Lisa.
really, really great. I can't wait to watch the rest.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to watch
Jesus, now I can't wait. I'm like, my mind's blown. You watch the first two, imagine what's going to be next.
Yeah.
Should we take some questions? You guys want to ask any questions? I love questions.
What was the biggest thing you'd say you learned about yourself through creating this show?
That's a good question. I think that I could do it. Like, I think it's so scary to take on that many roles. And I had taken them on as a filmmaker, but I had never done a series. So I directed all 7 episodes and acted in all 7 episodes and was the showrunner, and it was scary. Like, and it takes confidence, also takes like madness, like you sort of, and I learned from people, that I admired, even just like Lisa showing up here. It just takes like taking a chance, I think, and just saying there's something about this that I have to do. So I think I learned that I could, and that was so great. Yeah.
When you're a showrunner, obviously you're CEO,
Yeah.
writer, director. I think it's so rare to see women be able to do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine with the acting component too, and to your point of like not getting any notes. Did you feel like you were on an island, or do you feel like now that maybe you've had a little more going back to a regime where there's probably notes in some capacity, like which one did you feel maybe safest in, or was it easier process being completely solo or having a little like a support system through all that?
Yeah. I started making micro-budget indie movies where there were no notes. And I really loved that. And then I went into the studio system and there were so many notes. And I found that much more challenging. I never feel like an island when there's not notes from a studio. Like when notes aren't prescriptive but sort of like invited, I find that to be really expansive. And so whenever I make something, like I show the shit out of it to people that I trust because I want notes. Like I never want to be an island, because you get lost in the sauce. Like especially when you're doing all the things. So I definitely always want notes, but I think when notes feel, less like handcuffs, and more like a gift. And sometimes studios can give those notes too. It's not to say that doesn't happen that way, but on this one, I didn't feel that I wanted them. I'll tell this story, which is I was making a movie with the studio early in my career, and I was given so many notes, and it was so, so, so hard. I felt that it was really affecting the quality of what I was making. And Lena Dunham was making her first season of Girls, and we were in the same post house. And we had come up together, so my first film as a producer, writer, and actor was the same, came out at South by Southwest the same year as her first film, creative nonfiction, before Tiny Furniture. And so when we were in the post house, I said to her, like, at the coffee station, like, isn't this crazy, like, working for the man, And she was like, oh, I don't get any notes, basically. Like, and you look at girls, like, and I'm sure she got some notes, but the brilliance of girls is probably that they let her be.
Wow.
Because she is such a singular voice. And so that was like so edifying for me in that moment. Like, oh, my thing came out fucked up and her thing came out really good. But, it's also just about learning how to take notes and digest them and stick to your gut and figure out how to barter and bargain in the process.
Just curiosity, where was it filmed? It doesn't look like LA.
It was filmed in Toronto. Toronto for Brooklyn. Yeah.
Wow, it's good. They did a good job.
Yeah,
you did a good job
we
with
shot
that.
like 3 days in New York, so that we could sprinkle in some real New York. But I'm from New York, so yeah.
Well, this has been great. This has
Thank
been
you
so great.
much. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
What a
you, and thank you,
pleasure.
Film Independent.
Tell your friends. Tell everybody. Yay!